Well, hello, everybody. My name is Phil Gervasi, Senior Technical Evangelist with Riverbed. Now, what I'm going to do for you today is set the stage for Riverbed's end-to-end visibility story. So when we were talking about Networking Field Day, we thought to ourselves, what would be the best way to present to the Networking Field Day 26 delegates the full story of how Riverbed's end-to-end visibility solution actually works, how it operates full fidelity with the depth and breadth from the client to the cloud? Well, one option is to put together 100, maybe 150 PowerPoint slides with boxes inside of boxes and lines connecting them. That would work, right? You could get some the gist of our features, and we'll go through that like a typical presentation. But we thought to ourselves, nah, why don't we just show you how it works in a real scenario that we developed for you in a demo environment, so it's all real data. And later in the presentation, I'm going to show you, if you want to roll your sleeves up and get your hands dirty, how you can access the same demo and go through the same steps that we're going to go through today. So what we're going to do, presentation by presentation, is walk through a single troubleshooting scenario, just like a NOC would in an enterprise organization, with a help desk, a level 1, a security NOC, and maybe a level 3 engineer. Now, a little caveat. All the demos, rather the screen captures, they're all recorded. So you can certainly stop the presenter and ask a question as you go. We welcome that. We encourage that. But they're not going to be able to click around to other things. We did focus specifically on the scenario, which means that we are going to skip over certain features because we, to go over app response, for example, would take 4 days. We're going to say focus on this troubleshooting scenario to show in real time how you can use Riverbed's end-to-end visibility solution to solve an application performance problem. So let's get into it. And my slides are not advancing. There we go. SteelDemo Rental Cars is a national US-based rental car company located across the US in the West region, Central region, and East region. This is our company that we're going to be using as our demo today. Now, if you're wondering where SteelDemo came from, that's a play on words from Riverbed's Steelhead Appliance, Steel Central, all those kind of products. So we have San Jose and LA in the West region, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago in the Central region, and in the East region, JFK, which is near my hometown, and Atlanta. Now, if you can picture in your mind's eye being at one of these airports or a similar airport, there's a rental car kiosk with a customer service agent operating, in this case, a Windows computer, helping folks to check in, reserve a vehicle, make a payment, get their keys, and get them into a vehicle as quickly as possible. Now, here is the line of business application that we're using, rentalapp.steeldemo.cloud. And you can see here, this is a web application where you can, choose from a drop down to pick up your location, drop off location. Our employees log in via this same web application, but we also use this with our external customers. And if I scroll down here, I'll show you what I mean. We promote various promotions throughout the year, like 50% off for new members. So it's very important. And you can browse apparently Mercedes-Benz R3s, although I don't think those are all Mercedes-Benz R3s, and they're only $99 a day. So that's a really good deal. But this is our line of business application, rentalapp.steeldemo.cloud, used by our internal folks and external customers alike. Help desk tickets now are coming in. In fact, the first one is from JFK. We went with JFK because, again, that's my hometown. But we're getting tickets from across the country that Rental App is running slow on those Windows computers at the airport service desks. Now, what's happening? It's taking a long time for Rental App, the website, to respond. It freezes. The logins for employees to log in with their company credentials very slow, and sometimes payment submissions fail altogether. Now, understand this. The customer lines are getting longer. It's taking a long time to get somebody from getting in a line to getting in a car. And here's the thing. SteelDemo rental cars, we're going to rent you a Toyota Corolla for $99 a day. Maybe that's too expensive, but whatever. Our neighbor at the airport is our competitor, and they're gonna rent you the same Toyota Corolla for the same price, pretty much, minus $1 or $2. So our business model is customer service, getting you through that line as quickly as possible, get the keys in your hand and get you out the door, make it as painless as possible. But it gets worse. It's not just internal users. We have a customer complaints line. We wish we didn't have one, but we have one. And customers outside our internal users are calling up saying, hey, I'm at my house on my Windows computer. I'm on my smartphone using your app, and it's running slow. It's not working properly. And some customers have reported even giving up in frustration and going with a different rental company. This is money we are now bleeding. We need to solve this problem as soon as possible. So let's get into the topology. This on your screen here is the SteelDemo rental cars network. It's a multi-tier application that you can see with an SQL backend in our private data center. We have a 3-region web front end, and we use 3 regions simply because we want to load balance. We just use DNS load balancing. We load balance which particular web server they go to. So if you're in LA at that airport, you go to the West region. If you're in JFK, you go to the East region. We use that same load balancing for our external customers too, all in the effort to give them the best performance, the best experience possible. That's the key here. So if you see here in the lower left, we have our airports, and a real company might have 600 airports, 600 locations, not 6, but you get the idea. And they are using the company SD-WAN, and you can see our internal DNS that we host in Azure. Our external customers, that's way on the right, I have a couple smartphones there. They're using the public internet and whatever external DNS they use. What we've also done is set up, and this is something that I've done as a network engineer many times in my career. We just threw a cheap broadband modem in a West Coast airport, let's say LA, a central airport, Chicago, and then JFK, in the server room, a cheap broadband modem and a test computer behind it. It's not running anything. There's no company stuff on it, but we use it to test the website, the performance of the website, to simulate what external customers' performance is like. We want to know that as the IT department. So you can see here, here's our topology, here's our layout. The little A on the little computer screens for our airport computers symbolizes the eternity agent, something that John Hodgson is going to talk about in a little bit as when he talks about visibility from the client perspective. The R's that are all over, those are various, not all the same, but various visibility tools distributed throughout the network, all together giving you that end-to-end client to cloud visibility. So I'm going to start this off. I am going to take the role of our level 1 help desk, but I'm not going to roll up my sleeves and start looking at packets, and that's not my role. So what I'm going to do is start with Portal. Now, as we go through these presentations, you might start to get the feeling, hey, some of these things feel like, I'm looking at a series of point solutions. That's not at all the case. I want you to look at all these solutions as one, or the individual tools, as one end-to-end visibility solution that all roll up into this single dashboard Portal. So in Portal, we have, say, desktop metrics, container metrics, server metrics, VM metrics, all coming from Eternity feeding into Portal. We have our synthetic tests and traditional device information that we gather via SNMP from NetIM feeding into Portal. We have TCP analysis, TCP connections analysis from app response feeding into Portal, and so on, application flows with NetFlow. It all feeds into Portal and then is presented to you in customized dashboards that you customize based on who you are. So if you're a developer, a network admin, a security admin, whatever, maybe you're the voice over IP administrator for your entire company. You just want to see voice gateways, packet drops. That's what you customize Portal for. So enough with the slides. Let me show you what Portal looks like, and let's start troubleshooting this scenario. This is the rental app performance health dashboard, which I created. And this is real data, by the way. We have real web servers up in AWS East, Central, and West. And they are really performing poorly. We really have those airport computers all stood up. So this is real data. And already I see as a level 1, my goodness, we have a problem in rental app East region. That represents an HTTP status test. Now, I configured the threshold, me personally. I configured that threshold to say, when a certain number of HTTP failures occur, throw up a critical alert. You can adjust that threshold. The same thing in the central region. We have a warning. I don't know how many that is. I don't remember what the threshold was set at, but we have a warning. There have been some failures. And it looks like the West region is humming along. Notice we have response times, which I think Vince will talk about what response times actually are a little later. I'm level 1, so I want to see a little of everything, but this could all be one geographic area. It could be all your web application. It could be just network devices. Here I have the airport SD-WAN devices. You can see I have Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth, JFK, those are the top 3. Everything as far as CPU utilization, it's running fine. It's in the green. I could also add memory utilization, link utilization, whatever you want to see. On the right, I have AWS network metrics. And that would be things like retransmission delays. You want to know that kind of stuff. What's going on in the network between wherever my client is and AWS. Let me scroll down a little bit. And here you're going to see a few more graphs. You can have as complex or as simple as you want, by the way. Our West region is in milliseconds, and it looks like our response times are 2 milliseconds, a little under. That's fine. That's great. We have nothing in the Central region. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, we're going to have to troubleshoot that. I expect to see something there. In our East region, notice the That's in seconds. It's so bad that we skipped milliseconds and went right to seconds. We have a spike over 15 full seconds. Looks like the average is between 5 and 10. That's really bad. We have a very bad response time. Our top applications, you can see rental app being the majority of the traffic, which I expect. You can see I have the external machine test metrics there and server turns. That's how many times it takes to go back and forth. But ultimately, this is what Portal is. All of this information that you see here, all of that is being fed by the variety of tools that we're going to now look into over the next few presentations. And keep that in mind. You might actually be able to solve your problem from Portal alone, right? You could see, okay, we have something going on, and it's pretty clear what the issue is. But what happens when you need to go deeper and say, this is a complex problem, we have a complex network, multi-tier application, overlays, SD-WAN, all these things going on. I want to check my database connections on the back end as well. Well, you need to have, like Vince said, that depth and breadth. And each one of our tools is focused on a particular sliver because it's a specialized device, ultimately always feeding into Portal where we started today. So I don't know what the problem is. I see a couple clues. What I'm going to do now and conclude by saying we used Portal to start off because it collects all that information from all our tools to get a quick high-level view of what's going on with rental app. We kind of got a feel that the East region is not so great and the network might be okay, but that's really all I am, or rather all I know as a level 1. So what I'm going to do now, though, is hand it off to John Hodgson, who's going to look at this. Remember, this end-to-end visibility from the client to the cloud. He's going to start as kind of an endpoint engineer from the client perspective. Thanks very much.